Hi everyone, and welcome to the June 9th update for Captain Stardust. This week we had 9 commits from just one contributor, which brings our lifetime commits to 268 from 9 lifetime contributors, and we just wrapped up week 14 of 21. This week I went through and fixed a bug so that the text that is displayed on any narration or any objective is no longer editable by the player. They could just highlight it and delete it, so that's stopped now. I added a confirmation box to mission 7, so that way the player can decide if they want to go to the mission or not, because once they go, they lose all progress to like their collectibles and things like that, which also helps me not deal with like saving and loading, so that was my way to get around that. And cars can now drive on roads, so I did some work on the spline routes that they have to do, as well as like destruction and like picking up and putting down, and then added it to the car, the taxi, the cop car, and the bus, as well as added a couple of routes to the city. I think currently we have like a dozen cars. So let's jump on over to the game here. So now each one of these cars has like their own little predetermined path that they are on. So I've highlighted car 4 right now, so you can sort of see the outline, whoops, there we go, of the path that they take, and then all of these sort of loops. So that way it sort of adds a bit of realism and a little bit of life to the city. So let's go ahead and hit play here. We'll give it a sec so that way everything can load in and I'm not super choppy. But there is a ton of chaos that is happening in the game right now. So cars have no vision right now, so they can just like run over pedestrians. They can run over the sidewalk. I'm surprised that nobody's gotten hit on this road yet. They can take out street signs, street lights, that type of thing. There we go. Looks like we had it over here a little bit. The buses take up just a little bit more than half of the road right now, so they kind of curve into oncoming traffic and just cause a whole bunch of mayhem in the process. There we go, so there's a car collision there, taking out street lights, because that's just how roads work. Just like that. So cars can still like be hit and they can still smoke and that sort of thing. They will drive until they have 1 hit point of damage left, and when they have 1 hit point left, then they'll stop moving. So similar in that situation. And then you can also pick cars up still. Oops, maybe. There we go. You can still pick cars up and still carry them around. And if you ever put a car down, then it will set their hit points at 1, so that way they essentially stop moving. So like in this case with the police car, maybe I'll stop trying to grab a person. There you go. So this car was perfectly fine, and then I'll put it down, and now they're smoking. And then once they hit 0, then they are quote-unquote destroyed. But by destroyed, that just means that they are moved to their starting location. So it's a way to always keep something going on in the city, and it just moves it away from where the player currently is. So there's just so much chaos going on right now, and I love it. So the other item that I worked on this week is way over here on our island, where, there we go. Once you enter the trigger into mission 7, it used to just take you automatically into the mission, but now we have a dialog box that pops up of like, do you want to proceed? And then you can hit no, and you can stay here. Or then you can hit yes, and it will take you into that final mission there. It turns the cursor on, and it makes it so the player can have access to enter these buttons. So once you hit yes, let's go, then you're taken to that final mission there, and then you need to get into the mission 7 spaceship. So those are the key items that we worked on for this week. If we jump on over to the Vikunja board, I'll move this weekly video over here, and we'll close this out. So looking ahead at the next couple of weeks, we still have a couple of world events to do, as well as a couple of missions. Here in the near future, we're going to be preparing and having a playtest, and then trying to integrate that playtest feedback into the game, because all the key components are in, a couple of missions are in. We're still absent of any audio, so there's still some work there that could be done, as well as if anybody wants to add like more traffic to the game, I will gladly take more cars on the road. To help make it feel a little bit more alive, and if we want to tweak a couple things so it feels a little bit less chaotic, that's fine, but if we also want to keep it in that sort of chaotic nature, I think there's a lot of charm to it as well. So that is our weekly update for Captain Stardust.